want to welcome Natasha and Tosh to us this afternoon. We're interviewing them about what it's like working in the Narrogate Night Shelter. So I'll start with you, Toshona. How did you get into working with the homeless?
Well, when I moved here from America, I started going to the lighthouse, and to make a long story short, I met Barry and Jan through singing with the Living Waters. And I didn't have a job at the time, but I was looking for a place to work. While I was looking for a place to work, Barry was like, hey, they had something at church and they were talking about volunteering. So I came in as a volunteer. And then eventually through that, Barry said that, hey, we can have bank staff, so that's how I got into it.
So it was by degrees then,
yes.
Really? Very good. Very good. How about you, Natasha?
Mine's near enough the same as Toshona's. I was going to church. I met Barry through church, the lighthouse, and he gave me a leaflet and said, would you like to come and give some of your time? And I came and decided off as a volunteer. And then it went gradually, had a word and said, we've got bank staff, would you like to become bank staff? And then team leader, so
it sounds like there's almost an established way in, isn't it? Well, so is it everything that you were expecting?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what I was expecting to work with homeless, because it's something I've never done before, but it's good, it's interesting.
Okay, and how about you, Toshona?
I worked with the homeless with my mom. She used to make food and go to the park and just hand it out. Right. And I saw how that made her feel, although I never, had the hands-on approach. I mean, I helped her. But coming here, it was more than what I expected it to be, because then I was a part of their lives. So I can see the things going on day to day. So it was like, not only were we able to feed them, but you can have a conversation, you can see how things have happened, and also you can talk to them about your experiences, and then you can see them leave and go on to better things. So it was a lot more than what I expected.
A deeper level of engagement than you'd had previously.
Right.
It's a challenging environment, we all know that, but what's the greatest challenge you faced?
For me, I know in any establishment, or if you want to say company, I don't know if that's lack of a better word, because we work here and we have to have rules. And I think one of my greatest challenges is after explaining the rules to people and over again, and then they end up breaking the rules. And I think one of mine was actually having to exclude a couple, and they were like begging and crying, and that really, but I came back in tears myself. So that was one of my greatest challenges.
Yeah. And what have you found most challenging, Natasha?
Homelessness, it has its ups and downs, and there's some that stuff with addictions, and again, we have rules that we've got to abide by, and my biggest challenge that I've had to is exclude somebody for being either too drunk to come into the night shelter, or with drugs and being high. It's difficult, because you don't want to put them on the streets, because we're here to provide shelter for them and safety, but we've also got to think there's other guests that we've got to protect, as well as them the ones that are a bit over the top. So that's been a bit of a challenge for me, is having to put, say no and watch over other people and put other people first. So
it's difficult. We often say that we'd never open a night shelter to put people out on the streets, and yet sometimes that's what we find ourselves having to do to protect everybody. Well, that's on the negative side. What do you find most encouraging about working with the Narrogate? Well,
I'm in recovery myself, and what I've found is this place has been a huge part in my recovery. I'm an alcoholic, recovered alcoholic, because I'd like to say, Christ. But yeah, it's being around other people and helping other people, and being something special in their lives, being a special part in their lives, and when they leave they can think, oh, I remember Tasha from the Narrogate, and what impact she had on my life, and making someone's day brighter than what it is, trying to cheer people up and just be there. And
sense of purpose, really. Yeah. How about you?
For me, it's just an amazing thing, because I feel like I feel free, here, I don't feel like it's a job for me because I am a part of their lives. I feel free when I'm able, when, you know, do the devotions in the morning with them. You can pray with them. I love talking, you know, to them about different things, and I love when they come back to me and talk to me about, you know, something that they invite me in. And I feel like I'm a part of the family. And when I leave here, each time I work, I feel fulfilled. No matter what's happened, I feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm a part of something really big, and that can only go further and further and move forward. And that's how I feel. This is a awesome thing. And to hear we're one of the only 24-hour night shelters, and that's just something amazing in a big place like, you know, Manchester, you know. So I feel I'm a part of something great and big.
Well, I want to thank you both for sharing those things with me. I want to thank you for your work in the Narrogate, and I love the fact that you're both getting something out of it, and may God continue to bless you in your work. Thank you.